Welcome home, my friends, to the North Star Within podcast. I'm your host, Britt Ward, holistic life coach, licensed massage therapist, Reiki master, and personal development advocate. Let's dive into today's topic. Let that shit go and embrace the fullness of who you already are. Imagine walking through a garden, admiring the flowers without needing to pick them. This is the essence of non-attachment. Today, we're going to explore what it means to love, appreciate, and live without the need to possess. Non-attachment is a state in which you overcome your emotional attachment to or desire for things, people, or worldly concerns. I want to make an important distinction here. Non-attachment does not mean a lack of caring or involvement. It means caring deeply while acknowledging that things are impermanent and not taking personal ownership of external circumstances. While non-attachment is often confused with detachment or indifference, the key difference lies in your level of engagement and emotional connection. Non-attachment implies letting go of clinging to outcomes without necessarily withdrawing from the situation, while detachment can suggest a more complete disengagement and lack of emotional involvement, which can sometimes border on indifference, where one simply doesn't care about the outcome or situation at all. Here's an example that might give you a clearer understanding of the three and how they differ. Non-attachment. I will not get tangled in what I want or feel. Detachment. I will separate myself from what I want and feel. Indifference. I don't want, feel, or care. How important is inner peace for you? Will you like to see yourself become more resilient, adaptable, and less stressed? What about having a healthy relationship that thrives on mutual understanding? How about an overall better relationship with yourself? Experiencing confidence and security with yourself and your decisions. That's right, folks. All of this and more can be yours for the price of releasing your grasp on all worldly things. If you can't take it with you to the afterlife, why let it consume your present life? Does this sound daunting to you? A huge undertaking that requires more than you feel you are capable of giving? You may be saying, can anyone ever be truly and fully unattached? Or maybe you're thinking, if I'm unattached to all worldly things, how will I ever have the ambition to accomplish anything in my life? I'm going to burst some bubbles regarding myths about non attachment. To reiterate, non attachment does not mean not caring. Neither does it mean lack of ambition, motivation, or accomplishment. Realistically, unattachment can be essential to empower your intentions, as it allows you to release the pressure of fixating on outcomes by focusing on the process rather than the results. For example, your sense of fear or desire inhibits you, and it influences you to either live stuck in the past or worry about what the future outcome might be. In these scenarios, you lose the present moment, which impacts the main task at hand. Some easy and practical ways of practicing non attachment can look like having a mindfulness and meditation practice. Guided meditation can be helpful, especially those designed with a focus on releasing attachment and releasing old patterns or beliefs. Check out my YouTube channel, the North Star Within podcast, for a guided meditation on this subject and other topics. You can also try journaling exercises. Journaling can help in the way that it offers time for reflection. With regular journaling, you can identify reoccurring thought patterns and emotional responses, which can help you recognize when you're becoming attached to outcomes or situations. This can also help you construct a meaningful narrative about your experiences, which can provide a sense of perspective and help you move forward without clinging to past events or future outcomes. Another example of how you can practice non attachment is by letting go of material possessions. Here's a fun example. In Sweden, there's a process of decluttering and clearing your home of unnecessary belongings called dostädning. Do means death, and stadning means cleaning. The process is usually started between 50 and 65 years of age with the intention of simplifying the lives of your loved ones after you pass away. The core idea behind dostädning is to reduce the burden on your family by minimizing the amount of possessions they have to sort through and manage after your death. It involves intentionally eliminating possessions, processing finances, and organizing your home to make the transition easier for those who remain. While we often associate dostädning with older individuals, this practice is beneficial for people of any age to simplify their lives and reduce stress. Beyond the practical aspects, Swedish death cleansing or dostädning can be a freeing and empowering experience, allowing you to let go of material possessions and focus on what truly matters. So I gotta tell y'all, I have a thing for thrift store shopping. I often joke that going to the thrift stores is a form of therapy for me. But I do this thing where if I bring back something new, be it a coffee mug or a shirt or a pair of shoes, when I bring that thing home, I typically tend to release one thing, be it similar, a pair of shoes, a cup, or anything else. But say I bring 5 items home, I give myself the permission in this agreement I have with myself to let go of 5 things. That way, I'm not accumulating a bunch of stuff and I'm not becoming attached to my material possessions. So, if y'all ever want to go thrift store shopping, hit me up. I would like to talk with you guys about practicing non attachment in personal relationships, as this can be tricky ground to cover. I often hear people talk about relationships and they refer to the relationship as their attachment. So when I find myself in discussion with these people, I like to gently remind the person there is a difference between a connection and attachment. I offer a gentle reminder that whilst attachments can be unhealthy and diminish the space for personal and relational growth, connection involves a bond developed between two people, and it offers room for expansion due to curiosity fueling deeper human connection by encouraging you to engage, seek, discover, and explore. Ultimately, this leads to a more meaningful relationships. So here's a scenario illustrating attachment versus non attachment in a relationship. A person is deeply invested in a romantic relationship, constantly needing reassurance and feeling anxious when their partner is unavailable. This represents attachment, while someone practicing non attachment would enjoy the relationship without relying on it for their happiness, feeling comfortable with space and not overly distressed by temporary separation, allowing them to focus on other aspects of their life. Of course, it's unrealistic to assume that we will never encounter attachment in love. Feeling connected to others and to the experiences releases pleasure hormones like oxytocin and dopamine. Pleasant experiences certainly feel good and should. The irony of pleasant experiences, however, is that they can often breed attachment and enjoyment then turns to clinging, leading us to suffer. In Buddhism, attachment is considered the primary source of suffering, as it is an act of clinging to impermanent things, leading to dissatisfaction when they change or disappear. Buddhists see attachment as an afflictive mental state arisen from misperception. With attachment comes believing mental and physical phenomena can bring some form of lasting refuge or dependability. And according to psychology and many philosophical traditions, the root of attachment is the basic human desire for pleasure in the avoidance of pain, leading individuals to cling to experiences, people, or things that bring them comfort and try to avoid anything unpleasant, ultimately creating a cycle of grasping and suffering when things inevitably change. I like to say change is the only constant in life. I don't know where that came from, so if you know who I'm quoting, drop me a line and let me know. Some helpful ways to balance caring and non attachment in your personal relationships can be through open communication, setting boundaries, engaging in self care, and fostering personal growth. You can start by identifying and understanding your attachment style. Are you anxious, avoidant, or secure? Understanding your attachment style can help you recognize patterns in your relationships and help you make more conscious choices. If you guys are curious about finding out about your attachment style, there are a lot of resources online. You can just Google attachment style quiz, but I do suggest that you go through someone reputable, maybe like a university or a psychology institute, just so that you know you're getting legitimate results. It's also important to foster personal growth and self care in relationships. You can do this by setting personal goals such as pursuing hobbies, career aspirations, and personal interests. This allows you to cultivate your sense of self achievement and personal fulfillment. You can embrace personal growth if you are willing to engage in practices that promote self care, self compassion, and self reflection. This can empower you to break free from old patterns and foster personal development. Personal development advocate here. All right. So, in today's episode, we dove into the concept of non attachment, exploring how letting go can lead to greater freedom and joy. We discussed the benefits of non attachment, such as reducing stress and enhancing creativity, and how it empowers our intentions by focusing on the process rather than the outcomes. Practical tips like mindfulness and reflection exercises to help cultivate this mindset. We addressed common misconceptions and highlighted the balance between caring and non attachment in relationships. So, as you move forward, consider how you can embrace non attachment to lead to a more fulfilled and empowered life. I encourage you this week, try a specific action or reflection mentioned in this episode, and I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences on our Facebook group, The North Star Within. Thanks for tuning in today. Remember to like and subscribe. Subscribe to keep connected with future content and join the Facebook group, The North Star Within, for more direct interaction with myself, fellow listeners, and a community of like-minded people here to support one another. As Ram Dass says, we are all just walking each other home.